Hey folks, Max from Woodsman's Finest here. Welcome to another video in the Grip to Tip series. Now, I'm hopefully known for funny intros by now, but I wouldn't dare to punish this beautiful piece of craft with one of my semi-funny intros. This is an absolutely amazing, beautiful bow, and nature, look at this right now. It doesn't get any more beautiful than springtime in the beech forest. Deer out everywhere, flowers, and it's just a special type of sunshine, I guess, at this time of year. And I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to show you a bow that I haven't really shown you, and I've had this for probably about a year. This is a gorgeous piece of craft, something very special, so I hope you're gonna come along. Cheers. Folks, thanks for tuning in to another Grip to Tip video today, talking about the beautiful WalkingStick by Tisa River Archery. And those of you who have followed along for a little bit probably know that I've done a review about a WalkingStick in the past. Now, Archery has changed the design a little bit, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to show you the updated version and just a little bit of a different approach. But before we do that, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in. There's a lot coming. I have several bows on the way from all different makes, not just China, but also a few US makers and companies. I want to mix it up, and there's going to be a lot of metal coming in. But since it is such an incredible, beautiful springtime right now, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to show you this puppy. Thank you very much to the Push Archery for always supporting the community. Matt just put out a silly amount of different videos from the Wearable Boot Camp, a couple of really fun ones. He's keeping us updated with his own shooting, his new Black Widow, etc., etc. So please check out those videos, because he's putting a huge amount of work into making informational content that is sometimes an hour long, and where you can learn so much, and it's 100% for free on YouTube. But also check out the pack, the Push Archery Center of Knowledge, where you can go in depth with people like Joel Turner, John Demmer, etc., etc. Another thing is Alpen Optics, who I work for and do social media for. It's a company out of Spain and Germany, and I use obviously all of their equipment. This is like my LRF, Apex XP, binocular 10x42 with a laser rangefinder, and I also have the Crestone. I have a discount code down below. I think it's 5% off or something. The little Crestone here goes out to 2,000 meters, to 2,200 yards, and I think costs about 249 bucks minus the discount code, so check out those guys as well, please. And last but not least, shout out to my buddy SaskAdrenaline, who I guided for last year over in Saskatchewan and Alberta. We're trying to put on a lot more ecotourism stuff, as well as some really cool hunting experience in absolutely beautiful country. So please check out his amazing YouTube channel. You're gonna see some of the biggest moose you've ever seen, amazing black bear and beautiful country. So check that out please as well. These household items are super important for me, because I'm also running a business and I'm trying to get you guys as much information as possible. But there's a couple of things that are important, just like my pup knife and the traditional tabs that I'm making. Both of them are available from woodsmansfinest.com. Thank you very much for checking those out. That's it. Still getting familiar to this bow after shooting heavy ILF risers and setups for a while. but it makes it pretty easy to me. So grip to tip, what are we looking at? This bow is a 64-inch hybrid longbow that has a very nice handle forward design, big deflex from the fade outs to the fade outs. It is made mostly of Wenger wood, I think, and the laminations are bamboo and yew, and there's no veneers on it, but the gorgeous limbs that you're seeing is just a glass basically on top of the actual core material of the limbs. 64 inches, 50 pounds at 28. Scaled it before I came up here. It's about 47 and a bit, 47.1 or something like that at my 27 and a quarter and a half draw. So it comes out pretty much perfectly at 50 pounds at 28 inches, which I'm not surprised about, because I've hardly ever seen a person with as much OCD, and I mean that as a big compliment, as Attila. His attention to detail is bananas. I've never seen as much fine craftsmanship in a bow, as perfect laminations, symmetry, straightness. Now you're thinking, well, Max, you have a whole bunch of really nice bows by good bowyers. It's true, I have some really nice bows by some really good bowyers. I've not found a flaw in this bow, nothing. Not a single bit of twist, not a little bit of an off limb, not a lamination that is not perfectly symmetrical, and the same amount of thickness in every line and stripe. I'm excited, stupid excited right now, because looking at this bow, I just can't find a single flaw. And me as a craftsman with Woodsman's finest, with the carving, with my tools, with my axes, all of that, every single detail is something that really jumps out at me and disturbs me. And that is unreasonable at times, 100%. But this one is just making me, like, it humbles me so much, because I could never do anything like this. Another really great thing about the bow, apart from the fact that Attila actually started making a bigger window, because the first bow he sent me had a couple of issues, not in quality, but just like for me personally, because I'm an aimer, a cheater, you know. So he made the window a lot bigger for me, and he also made it flat for the first couple of inches over the very shelf, because he knew that I wanted to have a special feature in here, which he also obliged me to have, which is a Wenger rest. So it is a fishline monofilament 30-pound test fishline rest that I mounted about a couple millimeters above the shelf. He got the perfect angle done, a little bit upwards, a little bit forwards. I glued it in, and as you've been seeing in the video, I get to shoot veins out of this bow, hitting as much as I can do with the feathers. And these are helical, these are not thread veins, these are elite veins, thick, not too stiff, but relatively thick, very much helical, mounted on a Minimax, AAE Minimax helical jig, and they still fly well. So that's a big testament to the Wenger rest. Now folks, let's talk about the arrow setup for a moment. As you've seen, there is two types of arrows in my quiver. And the reason for that is that I really wanted to check out on the range today, with the further distance and everything, if it really makes such a big difference between the veins, as I said, and the helical feathers. These are obviously wild fletching, absolutely gorgeous feathers. Check them out as well. He's using only hunted turkey feathers, hunted turkey wings to produce these gorgeous feathers. And these are just AAE veins fletched on a helical Minimax by AAE. So a lot of helical, usually a little bit of a problem for some rests, but I didn't see any issue today. So usually I'm seeing issues with veins when I'm making a mistake in my release, because it's not as forgiving. Mounting them a little bit lower, and especially tuning my bow for the arrows to be slightly weak, seems to allow the veins more time and more space to get around the riser. And so I have a tendency to tune my bear shaft a little bit weak and a little bit on lock high if I'm running vanes, also sometimes lower vanes than that, but 4 and helical still works. But like I said, usually tuning the bow bear shaft high and slightly weak. Just a little bit more space. Now the laminations in here are obviously something like micarta and yew. Hopefully you're seeing in the footage that I took for you, the footage of the grip. It has a beautiful line here. It has a slight slope towards the thumb. It has a thumb rest from heaven, like a thumb shelf here. Everything is nice and crisp and sharp. The forward handle design is so much so that there's hardly any torque in the bow. And now a feature that is gorgeous. This bow sits almost vertical in my hand because Attila actually hides pockets of lead or some weighted material on the bottom part of the riser. So this puppy here, as nimble as it seems, weighs 2 pounds and 10 ounces or over 1,200 grams, a 1.2 kilograms naked without the bow quiver. It just rests there. This bow is so stable in hand. Look at it after the shot. And when the arrows are in the quiver with all of the weight, like not the weight a little bit distributed on the side, it does not tilt. It stays like this. Is this gorgeous or what? It's such a good bow. It's a pretty good shot. That bow is so stable. Stable. Sorry, I'm just like, it's such a great bow. The way that he shapes the grip really allows for a 45-degree angle in my hand. It's very repeatable. It has a couple of like edges and a couple of corners that really makes it so I can repeatedly get the right grip. The fade outs, which I put a little bit of footage in here. The wedges that are going into the limbs are the most finely sanded down wedges I've ever seen. They extend for where the wood ends, the black material, which I think might be something like a stabby core or something like that, extend for almost 4 inches, like 3 and some inches into the limb. The corners are all rounded. Like I said, it's 2 layers on the bamboo on the inside, it's 2 layers of yew on the outside, and there's clear glass just over the yew. The tips are perfectly shaped, perfectly symmetric combinations of micarta and yew, just like in the riser, and they have like a little bit of a contrasting reinforcement on the back. Perfection, absolute perfection. There's nothing to change about it. I requested to have a rounded tip on the bottom because of obviously reasons, like I set the bow down on my boot and stuff like that, so he did that for me. Tillering is 100% perfect. It's completely evenly tillered. And I'm running this bow at about 8 inches brace, so it's very stable. And it's very quiet. Let's try 40 meters at the bear. Not bad. It draws very smoothly. I feel even at 27.5 inches, I could draw it probably to 32. Like, there's no stack. In all my other longbows, I keep saying I want to have this little bit of stack on the back because it allows me to get off the string a little bit easier. This doesn't have this feeling even. Like, I feel like I can draw it indefinitely. There's like no stack. It's the same thing throughout. Obviously, when you take the string off, it's a very nice reflex deflex shape. Gorgeous. Gorgeous lines. Tons of reflex in that bow. And I definitely think this could be a great candidate for a 62-inch bow for like a 27-inch draw like mine. See, we got a wolf at about 24 meters. 25 meters, let's check. Or even less. 23. I would have totally misjudged that one. Done. What else is to say about this bow and its setup? The strings are made by Attila as well. And I don't think I'm gonna buy any other strings than these anymore. The craftsmanship and the refinement in every part of the string, including the serving, but especially looking at the loops and then how they taper into the string and how all of the strands are laying flat is awesome. And he uses my favorite string material anyways, which is 652 Spectra. I don't think I want to use any of these harsh materials, mercury, bumstead, dinkstead, whatever. I don't need that. I like a Spectra 652. If it's good enough for the US Olympia team, as Kaminsky I think pointed out that he used to like this string material a lot. I used it a few years before I found out about that, and I was really feeling enforced basically in my decision, because he said it's just like a perfect blend of being quiet and doesn't have a lot of stretch, but it's also not too aggressive, and I find that exactly to be the case, and I love it, and that's what Attila uses, and he uses it perfectly. So here we go. 652 Spectra. I bought a lot of strings from him so far. Pretty good. Pretty okay. About 33 yards. Same spot. Pretty much point on. But I'm not gonna complain about beautiful arrow flight. There was a veined and a feathered arrow. There's another veined one. Much better. It's a nice group for 33 yards. Oopsie. That one turns on by itself. Can't seem to get any higher. I'm not gonna complain. And there is not much else to say. I'm very sorry, like I haven't switched the camera angles around, and I haven't done a whole lot of shenanigans in this video in terms of editing, but honestly, what else do you need? It's a gorgeous bow. It throws an arrow with nice authority. It's not the fastest bow I have. Who cares? It throws an arrow even with a fixed crawl that I'm running of about 1.25 inches or something like that. I'm still shooting these 550 grain arrows, like point on at 30 meters, 33 yards, which means something because they're full length. What else? Not much to say. I guess I said a lot for saying that there's not much to say. Folks, what's gonna happen in the next few weeks is gonna be that I gonna release a whole bunch of videos about what people ask me a lot, which means how am I setting up a shot, what do I like to use, how are my setups running, and this and that. So I'm gonna be releasing a couple of those shorts probably, or something like that. There's gonna be a whole bunch of comparisons because I'm getting a couple more longbow limbs in the mail. So I'm gonna snap them, put them, I don't know, on a few different risers. And that's gonna create a whole bunch of different bows. So I'm gonna stick with the longbow realm as much as I can within the ILF area of things, realm of things, because I think it's a really cool platform and I want to explore it a little bit more, and I want to share my findings with you. So there's going to be a few bows coming in, different limb lengths and different risers, and then we're gonna just switch and swap. If you're interested in that, please comment below. I hope that you enjoyed this little view at this beautiful, gorgeous perfection of craft. Of course, I'm gonna put all the information below about all the people that I talked about today, which is of course the push, SaskAdrenaline, my own website with the pub and my tabs and my spoons and my stuff, and of course Tisa River Archery, the information about Attila. So I hope that a bunch of you got excited about this bow, because I am, and I'm never gonna get rid of it. This is gonna be on a shelf, coming with me hopefully for a whole bunch of hunts in the future, and then gonna be hanging on the wall, and it's gonna be grandpa's bow at some point. Beautiful lines wherever you look on this thing. Incredible. Thanks very much for tuning in, folks. I really do hope that you enjoy these videos. I'm doing my best not to ramble too much, but please understand that this is also a channel where I'm trying to place a couple of items, a couple of products, a couple of shout outs to people just to support me, so it makes it worthwhile for them as well. Let's shoot 4 arrows at that hog. I hope you guys have a beautiful spring. Stay tuned for some cool videos coming, and every bit of comment, feedback, like, subscribing, sharing it with other folks is helping me a lot, so thank you very much for keeping that in mind.